everybody. Welcome to the Wingin It podcast. Jack, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
I am making it. Andre,
Well, I'm doing good. My week has been interesting.
I bet it has.
Yeah.
All right, so y'all know how we start these things off. What you playing, Jack?
Just wrapped up Astrobot probably a couple days ago. I'm still trying to finish Bakaru. I've jumped into a little bit of MLB The Show 24, and also because of all the nonsense that's been going on, I've decided to give Nexamon Extinction a chance too to see how that plays. So I mean, it's free on iOS and Android, and if you want to pay for it, you can pay for it to get like the full everything. And there's also, I think, console versions for it too, and then also on PC. But that's currently what I'm playing now.
All right, Andre, what about you?
If I'm honest, this week I really haven't played much. I've really not played any games this week, which is a surprise.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay, that is a surprise. Okay, so what I jumped into, and I just finished this one today. That's the Romancing Saga 2 demo, Revenge of the Seven. After playing the demo, I might have to pick this one up. Not day one, because it actually releases the week of Yeast 10 and Sonic Shadow Generation. So I'm sorry, Romancing Saga, but you'll get picked up at probably the first of next year. But I did enjoy the demo. If you have not had a chance to play that demo and you like turn-based RPGs from like the 90s, that's actually one that needs a remaster, then yes, play this. I also played Lollipop Chainsaw Repop. Boy, that thing's rough.
I'm about to say, is it running as bad as people were talking?
Yeah, I don't know about the other versions. I played it on the Switch. The input lag is ridiculous. I remember it being bad on the 360. I don't remember it being this bad.
I don't remember it being that bad.
No, it was bad on the 360, but it wasn't like it was only noticeable when you were like surrounded. It's noticeable on 1v1s.
Ooh,
goodness gracious.
So yeah, they need to patch that. Seriously. Because I do like the game. Lollipop Chainsaw is a fun game. If you like No More Heroes and stuff like Pseudofied One's craziness, you'll like it. And James Gunn does do a good job, but I know people tend to have varying feelings about James Gunn, but I think he's funny. So
right.
Yeah. So I was picking it up just because you can't find it anywhere else, and I refuse to pay $300 for a 360 disc. So yeah, but that one needs some help. Played the Renatus demo, and unlike most people, I actually enjoyed it. So
okay,
yeah, I actually enjoyed myself with it. It's different. It does take a little while to get used to that tutorial and that
it is different.
Gameplay. But once you get the hang of it, it's actually not bad. And I love the visual art style of it. And I like the way the demo ended. So I'm like, it's enough to keep me intrigued. So
because that second character reminded me of like Sora, because at first he was just like a regular dude in the hood, and then he has this like glowed out.
Yeah, when he goes wizard, I like his intro too. Like he just takes a fountain pen out and turns it into a sword. I'm like, I like that. Like
right.
The way they did it, like when they use their magic, it's all the way it looks is awesome. I love the way it looks, and like I said, I like the story. There's a lot of people hate on it because I think it's the cool thing to hate. I've seen like 2 people actually be like, dude, it's not that bad. I'm one of them. So I'm like, okay, we'll just have to wait and see. But that's coming out this week with Echoes of Wisdom. So yeah. Oh, and I was playing the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. I was on X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Yeah. Nostalgic memories.
I heard that runs pretty good. I mean, everybody seems to be having a lot of fun with it too.
Oh yeah. But Justin Wong has got the Switch version. I am not going online. I'm not going online. He's not whooping my ass.
That's the game.
Everybody's
that's the game.
Him.
Look, I play him, but that's a game that should just be cross-platform. I don't know why they didn't just make it cross-platform.
Well, that's a Capcom thing, man. I ain't even worried about that no more. I agree it should be, but But yeah, I saw him. He took that picture of him with. I'm like, oh no, nope, the devil is a lie.
The fact that man
I
could
would
post a
play it.
picture and get everybody shook. Like,
I
yo,
would play it. I
why?
don't know why. Look, you can get your butt move on. I play him.
No, I'm not doing that, dude. I need my self-esteem needs to be a little. I need to be at least where I can think I have a chance. I know I ain't got a chance.
When he was playing Street Fighter 4 on the Xbox 360, I issued him a challenge and just never got a response. So I would play him.
I wouldn't.
I would go for it.
I'm avoiding him at all costs. Hey, Samson, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How y'all?
Doing all right. What you been playing, dude?
What have I been playing?
Yep.
Actually, on my other screen is Tears of the Kingdom. So I'm currently in the depths.
You're trying to make your service to air vehicle?
Actually, I'm in the depths trying to mark out more of the land, under there. And every time I feel like I'm getting close to a light route, I'm like, dang, there's no light route back here. All right, let me go back and go back the other way I came. And then
why is there a glowing thing over there? Why is that line on armored? Oh hell!
Right. And it's crazy too because I've ran into a couple times different areas that are like I just ran into the observatory and I'm like, cool. This has to be a new suit or a new weapon or something. You get another crystal. I'm like, okay.
Yep. Yep. They troll you. They troll you down there in the depths, dude.
Man,
they troll. Nintendo trolled hard down in the depths. They like, yeah, we gonna get all y'all dumbasses.
Oh,
you can't see nothing. You can't see nothing. You see that little exclamation point over there? Yeah, why don't you go and walk over there?
Yeah, so I've been playing that, and I was gonna play Black Myth yesterday, and actually I was gonna play again today. I may play today, but I don't know because that may take up time, and I gotta finish writing this song, so I may do that instead. So my focus is I said this yesterday. So I've been playing. I've been still binging some besides right now, but I've been binging some Tales of Vesperia, and I'm still how I was 20 hours ago, where I'm like,
where are you at?
So I just got done talking to Pharaoh.
Dude, I like Pharaoh.
I like
Pharaoh.
I like Pharaoh. It's crazy though, because I feel it's, and I asked this question yesterday on the podcast. Have you ever went I won't even say a whole game, but you went very far into a game where you're still borderline on a game? I don't know, but you just still keep moving because you at some point there's going to be a point here that I'm like, yes, okay, that's what I was here for. And that and that for me, at least story wise, that hasn't come yet. But I'm looking back and I'm like, dang, I'm 40 hours in.
I'm gonna go and tell you right now, if you ain't caught it yet, it's not gonna happen to you with this one. Then
okay, it's not a bad game. It's not a bad game, but it's just
I completely understand where you're coming from. As a Tales fan, I completely understand it because every Tales game ain't good. So yeah. I completely understand where you're coming from. Vesperia is okay.
Yeah.
My favorites are Symphonia, Graces,
Symphonia.
I don't care for Tales of Arise all that much. Tales of the Abyss and Fantasia. Those are my favorites. But I can understand that. With me, Vesperia is I love the combat.
I love the combat. Yeah,
I love fighting the Giganto monsters.
Yeah,
so that's enough to keep me.
Yeah, that's like Yuri. No, okay, so and I really like Yuri too. So those parts are really good, but as far as the story, and it's crazy too. It did that thing that it's not I necessarily don't like it, but it almost is really reminiscent of an anime show where they're I think that whole Pharaoh thing was their first original quest as a group. They were like, we finna go talk to Pharaoh because this is happening. So like we need to talk to him and figure out what's going on. And you like, all right, dope. Next couple hours, we're gonna meet this dude. Maybe I'm gonna have to fight him. Conversation. Nope. You get sidetracked doing this, and then you get doing this, and then you doing this, and this, and this, and then you like you. And every time they get to each of these points, they're like, oh, so when we go talk to Pharaoh, we're gonna do the. Oh, I can't wait to meet Pharaoh because no. Wait a minute, what about this? No, with Pharaoh. And then when you finally get to him, you're like, dang, that was the first quest that I started, and that was like 10 hours ago. Like,
there's a lot of stuff that happens in between that. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff story wise. Yeah,
I'm like, wow. But yeah, I'm playing that. I'm having fun. Like I said, with the combat is good, but you know, it. Other than that, I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna finish.
Well, I already told you what to expect when you actually get to where you think the end of the game is, and you got 10 more hours. You're gonna be like, they should have just kept that as the end. Now, there's something that happens, and you think, and that should have been where the game ended at. But there's another 10 hours on top of that for you to face off against the real ending. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense with how they did that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that's what happened. Like in 2008 when I played, I'm all happy. And I'm like, why am I still doing stuff? Like I just beat the guy. Like I just beat the guy. Why am I still doing stuff?
That was not the end. It ain't over.
I'm just like, yeah, where the credits at? I still gotta. What? Wait a minute, I met this dude. He ain't the bad guy. Why I gotta? What? Some bull. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty much me on what happened there. But chat. I'm just gonna go into apologize to y'all right now. Because there's something that happened. I don't mean to laugh at people, but you kind of had to see this coming. If your game costs this much to make,
that's wild, bro. Not the ad. They don't cost the ad.
If your game costs this much to make,
100 million is wild to me.
$500 million.
How? The real question is, how much did they spend on that pointless trailer that they did before they showed off the game?
But this is for a hero shooter.
That's wild.
Wow. Because I mean, there was people that were like, I can't believe it was that much, but I think Colin broke it down that it was like 200 before Sony showed up, and then Sony invested another 2.
Wow.
No game should cost $400 million,
no,
man.
It should.
It's just
Not
like when Destiny, when Destiny cost $500 million. I'm like, but their thing was they had like a 10-year plan according to them, and I'm sitting here like, bruh, your game shouldn't cost that much.
Right.
Your game should not, especially if you don't have a story mode. If you don't have a campaign mode, your game should not cost that much at all, period. Like, who? And on top of that, it took you 8 years. The best hero shooter out there has been having people leave it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, at some point during them 8 years, you should have been like, guys, we need to
pivot.
We either need to pivot or we need to cancel this, because if they're falling back on this now, when this finally does come out, no, dude. Like, look, gaming has gotten a little bit more mainstream. It is still niche.
Oh yeah, 100%. That
super facts.
I'm sorry, your shit shouldn't cost that much.
Like, nobody has topped 150 mil as far as sales are concerned. So that lets you know it's super niche.
Yeah,
like,
you're not the movie industry. Like, you're not the movie industry. You're not going to be on 7,000 screens across the world and you make 200 million in a weekend. You're not. That's not happening in gaming, man.
Who's the top dog in hero shooters?
I think it's still Overwatch.
Really?
But I think so.
It's either going to be Overwatch or why am I forgetting the name of this?
Because we can't say Marvel yet because it hasn't dropped.
That ain't
gonna
get anywhere up there.
No, and they have a well-known library.
Yeah, so they should do
that.
decent.
they should do decent. But I ain't saying they're gonna do that. No.
Wow.
Yeah, Dark Void was Apex.
I'm about to say
Apex.
Apex.
The other one I was
Apex.
saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, because I was like, you have to gauge that, like, because Overwatch took a huge blow when they tried to go to 2 and had a pivot immediately.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
they would have been fine if they would have had that campaign come out, but Bobby Kotick did away with that. So
which was one of the dumbest things.
Yeah.
But hey.
Is Fortnite considered a hero?
Technically, you could because of all the different hero characters that get thrown in it.
Yeah.
So you could technically say it's one, but it's not really.
I always think about hero shooters in the sense of like a 4v4, 5v5 situation, opposed to like how Overwatch does. I mean, not Overwatch, but Fortnite does it.
Hero shooter is more centered in a small, focused arena.
Yeah.
Okay.
Versus how Fortnite does it.
Yeah, but this article is on bounding into comics. So apparently Sony wanted this to be like Star Wars for them. That is not how you do that, bro.
I mean, have they made a whole like series of movies beforehand?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that would have been better. At least then you could relate to the characters that you were playing to.
Like we don't know who these people are, and we don't care.
Mm-mm. All we know is you made a Guardians of the Galaxy clone and tried to throw it as a hero shooter.
Essentially,
that's bet would have been to make if people really want to have people do large scale multiplayer, why not? Take the idea that we see from so many movies, make a large squad game where you all cooperate to take on one objective instead of playing against other players.
Right.
True.
Because then they'll say people don't want to play PvE, they want to play PvP.
People want to play PvE. Otherwise, it wouldn't exist.
I know that.
People
know that.
As much as people love raids.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah. You know that. Steve in accounting don't know that.
Steve in accounting need to go get his head out of his butt.
Yeah, he really do.
A lot of these guys, a lot of these execs, they don't know and don't care. They just say, "Hey,
that too."
Hey, the analytics say this, so that's what we gonna do.
But my thing is this, like, and we said the same. I mean, I think I've said the same thing about music too. By the time you decide to say, let's do what's trending, by the time you're finished, that thing is gone. It's done. Yep. Like, you should have been on that wagon well beforehand. So when the hero shooter thing started popping with Overwatch, that means it's done. It's solidified. It's over. Like, you're not getting into that pool.
And that's Overwatch. It's not everybody. So like everybody trying to do it is not they trying to catch. Oh, they caught lightning in the bottle. We can do that too.
No. If my thing is they gotten 8 years into development on this. Once by year 2 in development and you weren't able to release anything, at that point change to something else.
Yeah, because at this point you wasted money.
Did
you wasted time and you wasted
a lot of money.
And like I said, $400 million. No game should cost that much.
No, not even close.
No game should cost that much. No.
If you told me, hey, this is $400 million across us trying to put out like a TV series, movie, or whatever, and then going into the game, cool.
Yeah.
But like that's my thing with hero shooters. Like I feel like they should have some form of TV presence first. Build those characters, build that lore. Then give me the game. You're not gonna ever do it through the game.
At the very least, an online series that people can get to know the characters.
Like, one of the things that helped Overwatch was when they did them shorts.
Even though I hated that, I really wish that was a campaign in the game.
Yeah. But when they did them, I'm like, it worked. So especially you would think now with how anime is becoming more and more popular, you would think you would get like a Foldable or Production IG or Mappa or somebody or Bones to be like, hey, can y'all do a quick little 4 or 5 episode, thing for us, or a 10 episode, one core thing for us to help us with our game? You would think they would do that, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I mean, because look at Triple M. Splatoon wise, like Splatoon is kind of goes the same approach that Nintendo tends to do. While they have characters, there's not necessarily a story there. Like even though they started doing a campaign, you mainly knew, a Splat Boy, a Splat Girl. Like, like you don't have to go, oh, that's Trevor or that's like that's whoever. Like just splat boy, splat girl.
you
and
know, Inkling goes splat.
There you go. And then the campaign works because you know more of like the Maurice, like the announcers than anything else. Like they're the ones that really are the names and the faces, and then you just kind of play. But yeah, I mean, the campaign definitely would have helped. But if you're talking about being Star Wars, build some lore first.
You already done.
build you doing this backwards. You trying to come out with the product before you even built anything up.
Yeah, you hustling all the way backwards.
That's a good idea. Good point, Zodia. Yeah, that is a good point.
That's true.
And then you never got it. Like what's
good old Bobby.
Yeah. Good old Bobby Cody. Well, I'm talking. And then like for two, they gave you a damn near 9-minute trailer talking about the story.
Right.
And then he cut it. I'm like, bro, are you a freaking idiot, dude? Like
big time
idiot. So
no, I think he was doing what he was doing on purpose so that they could try to get rid of him and he could bankrupt the company.
I mean, because
he knew what he was doing.
Was ridiculous. His service was ridiculous, bro.
He knew what he was doing. He was trying to get either get out of that position and take the money he was promised a part of his severance, or he really wanted to bankrupt the company. One of them two things.
Either way, it was going to get bankrupt. If they would have bought him out, it was going to bankrupt him. That's why, I know people don't like the fact that Microsoft bought him, but that was the only way he was going to get him out of there because Activision wasn't going to pay that severance. They weren't going to.
It was either Microsoft, Apple, or Amazon, more than likely.
Yeah, or Tencent.
Or Tencent, and nobody wanted Tencent to do it.
I mean, you could have got Google because Google was looking, and y'all know what would have happened if Google would have bought them.
Right.
Go the way of Stadia.
Yeah,
it still would have been gone.
Yeah, it would have been gone. So, I mean, the other $1 trillion companies was looking like they were just waiting. Yeah. They were just waiting. So, yeah.
So, has there been an announcement as into what happens for those that purchased the game? Like, did they just have to
got their money
refunded? They got refunded.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say that
they got refunded. The game got shut down.
Yeah, because that's why people for the last 2 weeks were trying to get that platinum, that one platinum trophy.
Oh,
it ain't even worth it, bro.
So here's the question: do you keep that? Are you the person get your game refund for your money, or do you hold on to that game and it be a collector's item?
I don't.
Oh no, they automatically.
You have already tried.
The only way you ain't getting a refund is if you had a physical copy.
Yeah.
Correct.
Now you just got a collectible coaster.
Basically, yeah.
That's crazy. Oh man.
Yes.
I mean, this is why digital or not, I feel like every game should have some form of offline mode. Even if, say for example, with Call of Duty, there's people, and I've seen people say, "Look, I buy Call of Duty for the campaign." Like they don't touch multiplayer. Yeah. But even if it was to get shut off on any of these games, you still got that campaign mode to run through.
Right.
Yeah.
There's still some value to the game.
Yeah, because that's why I be laughing when I hear people talk about the whole, they cut the service on what you gonna do. Now the question is what you gonna do. Because it's the same for everybody. It's the same for everybody. So, but that's why
at this point, it's not even cutting servers because they can literally just shut the game down even if it's in your console.
Yeah,
they can shut down the license. So you.
That DRM is glorious.
Yeah, that's how I'm like, bro. Everybody in the same boat whether you get physical or not.
It don't make a difference.
You're in the same
boat. The only one you could argue physical matters right now is the Switch because you can have it wholly offline and still play your stuff.
Yep, the vast majority of the games, yeah.
And you know what's so funny? If Nintendo decides that this is the imminent future for them, that's realistically that's never going to change. Because as long as there's an offline or you walking away from a Wi-Fi network, there's always got to be some form of ability to be able to play those games without being stuck online. So
yep. And that's the other thing I've never understood why they keep trying to push this live service stuff. Because I'm like, bro, internet infrastructure ain't even like that for countries. No. It's not like that.
Who realistically else is like that besides Japan? Like,
there's small pockets. Like there's an area in Tennessee that's really like that.
But it's not all of Tennessee. Like, and that's the problem. Like when you go to places like Montana, when you go to a place like Georgia and Florida got spots in it where that Wi-Fi, you can drive through there, you'll go straight dead on everything. With two towers sitting off the interstate, you still dead. So it's just
there's places like that in Michigan.
There's that. What's that place in Virginia that's completely blacked out for the network? You can't get any cell reception, internet, nothing. I can't even remember what it is.
Yeah, it's in between the mountains.
Yeah,
you drive through there, everything cuts out.
You got like an hour of silence.
Yeah,
driving through that area.
That sounds like driving towards Orlando. There's a certain pocket that no matter who you got, your service is dead within like maybe a 5-minute strip of being on the highway.
Yep. And like I said, in Georgia, if you go in the country, they're just cutting out. They're just cutting out.
Yeah.
Mississippi is cutting out. North Carolina is cutting out. So
you better get your pigeons ready.
Yeah,
because you get some bird calls.
Basically,
that's what happened.
Because and that's just basically how it is. I mean, So that's why I'm like this whole live service thing. I'm like, bro, like Microsoft kept saying that during the Xbox One. And I'm like, bro, that's stupid. We have to always be online. Y'all dumb for saying that. Yeah, if you in the city, that works. But if you out in the backwoods Mississippi, that don't work.
Right.
No.
And God forbid you in Oklahoma and a tornado comes through and your power's out for 2 weeks.
Right. Oh man. And Florida. Your power's up about 2 or 3 weeks after a freaking tornado.
Yeah. A hurricane come through. You down for a week. Now what you gonna do?
My Switch was lovely. Every year my Switch has come in the clutch.
So I'm like, that was stupid on their part. Because I'm like, and you would think they would know better since they up in Redmond, Washington.
Yeah.
Like y'all get snowstorms and be out of power for a couple of days. Y'all already know that. So why would you even do that? But that's when you have execs and investors that don't care. All they see is money.
Right.
I think is though, like somebody had to kick this off though. Because I mean, I always understand greed is going to always be one of the reasons why. But at some point, I don't think single player was doing that bad.
No, it wasn't.
To where you could say I wasn't getting enough of an investment return to continue to produce these games. Like I feel like single player was still doing good enough to get a return outside of like it may not have been doing, Madden and 2K VC numbers, but it still was getting you what you needed to fund your next project.
Well, the thing is, I'm just thinking from like an investor standpoint, like you see something like, okay, this is niche, but it's becoming more and more popular. I'm seeing the EA Madden commercials. I'm seeing Ludacris doing songs. I'm seeing, musicians taking the Mario jingle and turning it into a sample and whatever, and they doing it. So if you're an investor, you're like, shoot, I can jump in on that and be one of the first ones in and make me a grip. And all it takes is one game, lightning in the bottle, Call of Duty. Guess what happened? When Call of Duty jumped off, it jumped off. So you got investors like, man, y'all saw them commercials, Dwight Howard and freaking Sam Worthington and all these actors doing the commercial and all that stuff. So they're like, shoot, we can make a grip off that. And then they're like, oh, well, we need to have the highest graphics. So just tell everybody we got the best specs. Tell everybody we got the best specs. No, we got the best specs. No, we got the best specs.
Right.
Your stuff is outdated, bro.
Y'all outdated.
Y'all been working on this for 3 years. By the time y'all released it, y'all was outdated. What the hell are you talking about? Don't tell them that. They don't know. Just say we got the. Say we the most powerful.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Which don't make a bit of difference if you ain't got the games to do nothing with it.
Don't make a bit of difference. And then you got people like, oh yes, see, for my grand vision to be, realized, I gotta have the best specs. Okay, you got the Xbox Series X. Yeah, we couldn't get the multiplayer to work. So
right.
Wait, what? But y'all got the strongest console.
Right. Let's not talk about strongest console right now.
But look, we're releasing the PS5 Pro, so that means all our games gonna be 60 frames a second. We ain't say that. We ain't say that.
Now we gonna have it. Listen.
We
gonna have it look.
Performance mode.
We're gonna have it look more 4K, but still at 30
more 4K. 4K.
Right.
Yeah.
So you mean we're gonna finally get 8K? We ain't say that.
Well, no.
Let's just call it 4K LTE. How about
let's call it 4K LTE. We're gonna call it 4K plus, 4K extra.
I just don't like this up to crap. Like, stop it. We should not be at no up to at this point.
At this point, stop telling people the resolutions of any game.
Yeah, because they don't.
Yeah, that's gonna be nuts.
Yeah. So onto the topic of the PS5 Pro. Let's see, why is it a good idea and why it's a bad idea? Y'all remember that from Animaniacs?
Yes.
Good idea, bad idea.
Good idea.
Bad idea.
Okay, so let's start off with bad idea because this is a bad idea. So let's start off with bad idea.
Can I go first?
Yes, go first.
Okay, bad idea. Boost the cost of production if they're using the models correctly. No performance mode. I mean, not performance. I'm thinking the wrong word. Because performance mode is for higher FPS.
Fidelity.
Correct.
No fidelity mode is going to necessarily be running at performance mode speeds. You're still using the same games. Actually, when I made my PS4 Pro rant, I said some very similar things.
Yes, you did.
So you're going to be using the same development assets. You're just going to be upscaling to 4K from 4K, which I don't know how that's supposed to work. You have a new AI filter to upscale, which is doing the same thing that your console's already doing. What are you adding to this besides expense for the person on the back end? I mean, you got to buy the disk drive if you have your old disk model PS5.
You got to buy the stand too. Yeah, it ain't coming in there. You got to buy it separately.
So you paying what? This is what?
$699 plus $79
plus what? What's the stand? How much is the stand?
I think the stand is like I got a little.
30?
I think it's 30. Yeah,
that's $810. $810 to get the complete package back.
And God forbid you got to buy another controller because they don't come with one. Yes, $29.94. So that's
$805.
30, 79, $699.
Like that's gross. That's gross, and that's without the taxes.
Without taxes,
that's without tax. With tax, you looking at about a good $850.
Yeah.
Oh, it gets worse.
If you're planning a direct upgrade. Now, obviously, they probably figure people going to trade, but you still paying at least $350 out of pocket, even if you trade in.
Because I think at GameStop they're saying they're taking $410 for them. But
I'm curious because they don't have that listed anywhere.
Yeah, that was the rumor was.
No, they themselves came out on social media and said they did, but when you go to their site, it still say $390 something.
What I'm gonna do is wait for everybody to trade in their PS5s to get the Pro. I'm just gonna use PS5 and call it that.
Yeah,
because you don't need the Pro model to use PSVR 2 if you want.
Nope.
No.
You don't need the Pro model to use the PS Portal if you want.
No.
True.
You literally don't need the Pro model for anything other than to brag.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's it. And at that point, and people keep saying you need a $1,500 computer to do the same thing the PS5 Pro does. No, you don't.
No,
you can go into
$49.
You can go into a Micro Center, a Tiger Direct right now and purchase a pre-built gaming PC for $550 and get around the same type of performance as the PS5 Pro.
And you'll be able to upgrade it at your own leisure.
At your leisure, yeah.
And you ain't gonna be able to do that with the PS5 Pro. So once
again, and SSDs, if you need to upgrade your SSD, the ones that are sold for it specifically to get those next gen speeds, those are costly. I can get an SSD for my computer right now, a 2 terabyte SSD for my computer right now for $60.
But you finna pay $700. You finna pay $300 to put it in that PS5.
That's just disgusting.
But because they didn't even go over how you open that thing up. Hopefully, it's the same way as the current PS5. But I think the most disgusting part about this whole thing was they showed up, like Andre said, with all games that currently exist.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't show up with anything that was like, oh, this is what, this is why you need to upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's keep it a bean, because I see all the comments of like, it's not necessary, it's an option, so why are you guys upset?
Gaming itself is an
optics
option.
to this. Yeah, gaming itself is an option. There's optics to all of it. But when you look at what Sony is doing, it's one of those things of, you just offered a $700 Pro that wasn't needed. And then on top of that, you were bold enough to show, without anything to showcase, why this was worthwhile. You showed all old games. And then even for the ones you did show, most of the time you had to zoom in to show me the difference.
Right.
And really, because the one that made me laugh the hardest was the Star Wars Jedi. That one, I'm like, there is literally no difference between PS4, PS5, and PS5 Pro screens. That was no difference.
Well, like I said,
they would zoom in like a champ too.
Like I said before, they tried to show. The first thing they tried to show off was The Last of Us, and it was like, you showing off a PS3 game that moved to a PS4, that moved to a PS5. That's what we doing.
The Last of Us is Sony's personal GTA.
This is Resident Evil.
At this point,
that's horrible.
RE4 all over again.
And you know what the worst part is? And I think I said this before. The worst part is the thing that I criticize the most is now the thing that I'm like, why don't you just go get that instead for the same price? Like, you're going to get a PS4 Pro that's going to cost all this for all this stuff when you can get a PS5 and a Portal and have your Wii U experience with less functionality.
If I'm going to spend the money, I would do that combo.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jay, that's another thing too. There's people I know, and personally, this isn't me just scouring X or Twitter. People I know that do not own a 4K TV that want to get this.
Why?
So they're not going to be able to tell. That's even worse.
That's not even going to help anything.
Right.
You just including horsepower just to include horsepower. That's like sticking. That's like sticking a V8 engine inside of a go-kart.
Yeah,
right. Right.
Because but these are the same people, and then also too seeing it myself, going into a Best Buy and seeing the new iPad and the old iPad sitting next to each other, and people legitimately picking up the old one and like, see, it's so much faster. That's the wrong one. The new one's next to it. Like you're convinced so much so because it's newer and it has Pro on it. That this is what you should be picking up. And I get it. Like, I saw people talking about what they were trading in. I'm like, you're a fool. Like, you're giving away the whole town for a cow. Like, that's crazy.
Giving away all your library.
Yeah.
Like, you're giving away games, systems, the whole not controllers to get this thing. Like, if it's for your content creation, be down. Because you're gonna eat because people just want to see the difference in the pros. But honestly, there isn't.
The difference is so minuscule, it does not matter.
That was like the one thing that always like bothered me, and it's not even just that. Like, it's any product that has a sequel to it, like Apple, all of that. You can't give me numbers and be like, this is 52% times faster. Yeah. That's not realistic to me. Like, what is that? Right. Am I waiting a second? Am I waiting 2? Like that, like that doesn't matter to me. Like, you have to show a consumer like actual differences, not the whole let's zoom in here and look at the backgrounds because you never really actually look at the backgrounds in the first place because you're so busy with the main character. Like, there needs to be and to be honest with you, Jack, because I know you're not a huge Apple phone fan, but that's why I don't buy like 2 years, 3 years. Like I wait generations. Like the next one, I have a 13. Realistically, I could wait for forever. But the only reason why I get a 17 is because that's my favorite number. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah.
But like after that, like I could wait until I'm about 99 years old, you know, until
and that's the difference with phones versus consoles. So like say for example, right, when we talk about the iPhone, Apple has promised that you're good for 7 to 10 years on updates that they'll promise to give you. If you have a PS3 or PS3 at this point, you're out the race.
Oh, yeah.
If you have a PS4, you're getting close to it. You're not getting everything, but you're still getting a decent amount of content. But you know, Sony's not continuing to cater to you, not for real. So I mean, they kind of force your hand in a way. We're really at that point to where even I was thinking today, I got to start figuring out where I want my library to be. Like, because I can't keep spreading it across all of them anymore. Like, it's getting a little
too much.
It's just too much. Because it's like, oh, I want to play this. Oh, shoot, that's on my ROG Ally. I want to play this. Oh, it's over on PlayStation. Or, oh, this is over on my Switch. Like, I have to now start picking a battle. I have to start picking the quote-unquote ecosystem to be in. But in reality, you really can't. Because let's say PS6, they were talking about it. Let's say something may not work when I go over there. That's one thing that these console manufacturers don't promise to you is your stuff may not stay with you forever. And where with iPhones, it can.
I'd be surprised too.
The other thing that that I'm glad you brought up PS6 because I'm like, if this thing costs $699,
right?
And the PS6 is probably gonna come out in 3 more years.
2 to 3 years.
You saying 3?
Yeah, I'm saying 3.
Yeah,
I'm saying 2 is for the reveal. 3 is don't let this Nintendo successor do good. They're going to be.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said.
They're
not going to let them stay on the market by themselves that long.
But that's what the Pro is for anyway.
Yeah, the Pro is supposed to do that. But if this thing, because look, I know people love to say that they need to go power out. They already did that in the 6th gen, and y'all didn't buy it, so they're not doing that again. They're gonna do what they do. And this whole idea that it's gonna be like the Wii U, no, it's not, because they control the narrative. The Wii U was DOA on arrival because Western game journalism, whether you want to believe it or not, Western game journalism did that. They did their best to make it seem like they didn't know what was going on when that was a total freaking lie. Why do you think I always laugh at Jeff Keighley? I'm always laughing at Jeff Keighley because he was one of the main ones. Him, a lot of people at IGN, and then what? Rev 3 gaming don't even exist no more. A lot of these other places don't even exist anymore.
G4.
They were trying their damnedest to make it where Nintendo goes third party. That's everything you kept hearing. I'm like, Nintendo got cash in the bank. They ain't going third party. Like, what are y'all talking about?
It's so crazy too. Even when we went back and Nintendo literally said our next console like 11 times in that presentation. It was like wow.
So it's one of them situations. I'm like, I'm saying it's gonna probably be 2 years for the reveal, 3 for it to actually get out. Because for some reason they like to put them out during holiday season, and I don't know.
Not working no more.
Yeah, so that's why I say 3 years. But if you gotta pay $699 for this Pro,
you no point in buying the next one. Might as well just wait.
That's why I think the PS6 they've already messed themselves up with having this Pro model because because of the law of diminishing returns, you literally cannot make a system unless something crazy happens, make a system look different from another system graphically. So how are you supposed to tell somebody you need to go buy this because this is a whole better system if they visually see it and are like, no, you're not tricking me with that. You could probably put this game on this system too. It's not like that anymore. From 6th gen to 7th gen, but from 7th gen to 8th gen, you could do that and you could lie to it. I won't say lie, but you can really stretch the truth on people. You can't play these games on here because they just don't work.
Yeah.
Now, how do you do that? You moving into the PC market, and the PC market can play pretty much anything at this point, right? Mm-hmm. So if you moving into the market that plays pretty much anything, then why do you need a PS6 at that point?
You won't.
At this point, Sony is in the situation where they could release the PS6 and the PS4 is still getting games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because a lot of them PS5 games, if you looked at on them early PlayStation State of Plays, in small letters, also available on PS4. Like, yeah, because PS4 had 140 something million units, and that thing only had like 15. You ain't gonna make no money doing that,
right?
So, I mean, it's I want to say I feel bad for Sony, but I don't.
No, they did this
to
themselves. Yeah, they did themselves.
Yeah, they did this to themselves. I'm like, y'all had, especially when you remember from PS1 to PS2, like they had mascots for days. They had, and they let them go, trying to chase somebody you ain't had no business trying to chase.
They rope-a-dope themselves.
And then you close down your best studio.
Yep.
Japan studio, you closed it down.
Yeah.
At that point, I'm like, y'all just gift wrapped them Japan. So hey.
And that was the studio to really mess with Square Enix like that anyway. Y'all could have had anything at that point, and y'all chose not to.
Yep. Nope. So at this point, I was just like, hey, all right. All right.
And then you wanted to turn around and get mad because somebody else, because you lost. So what you thought you was going to do is take somebody else's second sloppy seconds. And then you wanted to go ahead and grab them and act like you was really going to do something like, yeah, I got this. How you like that? Yeah, watch. Yeah, she out here right there. Yeah. And she ain't producing for you. So
at all.
So, and that leads into my next one. So Square Enix finally revealed that Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth did not meet sales expectations. So,
my goodness, for real?
Yeah. So, the question now is: should they have been exclusive, and will them coming to PC help? I don't think them going to PC is going to help that much.
No, it's not.
But they should not have been exclusive.
Nope.
No,
I feel like
now I will say this. I will give Square Enix this. Now on the Final Fantasy 16 thing, they did say they did report that they did shop it around, and Sony was the only one to back them. So
I mean, why do you think that?
What do you mean that?
At that point, though, you shopped it around after having made it mostly exclusive to Sony in the first place.
Yeah.
Right. Like
at that point, it's like, why did you even shop it around?
Yeah. Because it was probably that budget was probably getting higher and higher.
Which is cool, but
in the words of Kanye,
that's what I'm saying. Like, you were literally like exclusive for a minute.
Mm-hmm. Why are you shopping around that anyway?
Because
why are you coming to me now?
Because they hemorrhaging money, dude.
In the words of Kanye, can we get much higher?
Yeah. What they should do for Final Fantasy is start focusing on their spinoffs. Start focusing on the spinoffs and put them out.
I would even say just take it back. Like we're far enough in a generation, or we're far enough in our age where you can cycle back. I mean, they're doing it with Dragon Quest. You might as well do it with Final Fantasy too. Yeah. And go back, make your HD 2D remakes for those games and move forward from there. Nobody's going to criticize you for it, and most people don't even know how Final Fantasy started in the first place.
Well, there's the problem. There is the problem that they did do the release of the HD remasters not that long ago.
Yeah.
So they'll have to wait on that.
Yeah. Well, my thing is change up your art style. Stop making the game so expensive to make. That's the first thing.
Final Fantasy should have been cell shaded once we got past PS2.
Yeah,
it should have been cell shaded.
Or just switch it up. You can switch up your art style.
That too.
Nobody's gonna get. Yeah, you're gonna have some bots get mad. Notice I said bots. Bots get mad. Most people ain't gonna get mad if you show them something that works and give them what they want. Because a lot of people don't like the fact that they changed the play style from that turn-based to more action RPG. Some people just don't like it. Yeah, some people just don't like it. So and trying to make stuff ultra realistic with all of this stuff that you're doing, I'm like, that's clearly not helping you because you're having to spend all this money on the engine, and it takes time. And now you're over budget.
Right.
Yep.
My thing is
y'all can't turn everything into Advent children.
Yeah,
you can't.
Right.
You can't.
My thing is like, at what point, what happened to Final Fantasy for them to want to go into a totally different direction? I'm all for recreation if you feel like it's getting a stale, but I mean, but Kingdom Hearts was Kingdom Hearts
is different.
Yeah, it was,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, people love you for what you are. People love Kingdom Hearts for what it is, and even with Kingdom Hearts, they killed it with 3 because it wasn't a single Final Fantasy character in it. So that's
actually they killed it with 2 because they killed it after 2 because they took forever to make it.
Yeah,
that
you can't have your main director working on 2 games simultaneously at the same time. With 2 different engines, you can't do that.
Realistically, Dream Drop Distance should have been a console game.
Yeah, it should have. But they won't.
So I mean, at this point now, it's like, okay, do you go back to the turn base? Because really, I think what's going to be very telling, and I know they don't have anything to do with each other, but Expedition 33, I think, is going to be very interesting. Because while it's turn based, it does it in a different way. Like, it's almost like it's very action oriented, but it's turn based.
It is. Like, you know what I realized it is? It's the evolution of Legends of Dragoon. That's all it is.
It is, but at the same time, we haven't seen that game in years.
Since it,
So now it goes back to like, okay, turn based is a style of game, but you can still flare it up. Like, you can still dress it up a little bit different, give it a different type of style and different type of spin. You would think Final Fantasy was falling off the moment they decided to go the route of 13 or go the route of 15. Like, I'm all for changing up, but at least do it with a spinoff,
right?
Not with your main line.
Yeah, your main line shouldn't.
Said that several times. They should have mainline should have stayed turn-based RPG. Obviously, you're going to change some of the mechanics around on how the RPGs work, because every Final Fantasy has its own quirks.
Right.
They should have never changed the core of it. You have Final Fantasy Tactics. You got all the mobile spinoffs. Y'all mean to tell me y'all had Dissidia? You mean to tell me you couldn't think of just an action title for RPG? I mean, for Final Fantasy, you could have just called it Final Fantasy Action and made a whole series under that.
I mean, what that was Strangers in Paradise supposed to have been?
Pretty much.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, it's another company I don't feel sorry for.
Sorry, but not sorry.
They changed the identity of the series and then wonder why people were angry.
Yeah, I'm like, you really do that. And like I said, they look, half the time they can't decide whether they want to make a movie or make a video game. I've said this before a million times. They can't decide which one they want to do. I'm like, dude, I remember when 15 dropped. They made a movie, Kingsglaive. They had an anime. They had an anime OVA for that about the prequel. They had like 2 or 3 mobile games. They're like, just make the game.
You know, it's wild too. Now that I think about it too, I feel like is it Noxus? Noxus.
Yeah.
We call it Timu Sasuke.
I feel like so he's got this ability. I think it's called Airwalk or Air Ride or something like that.
You mean
by the time you get that move, I'm like, you trying to be Sora? Like,
there you go,
bouncing around in the air. I'm like, wait a minute, no, wait a minute, hold on.
Isn't Sora technically owned by Disney?
Yeah,
technically.
How does that
That's
work?
Probably why.
Yeah. I mean, and it didn't help that when he showed up in Tekken 7.
I still found that to be a weird choice. Like,
Sora was in Tekken 7?
No, Noctis was in there.
He would have been better for Soul Calibur than Tekken.
Than Tekken, yeah.
Right.
I would thought if y'all was going to put anybody
we don't talk about Soul Calibur. We don't talk about Soul Calibur 6.
I'm just saying, if you was going to put any Final Fantasy character in Tekken, I would have thought Tifa.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Right.
Straight hands.
You don't use weapons like that.
Yeah. So, yeah, but all right. Yeah. So hey, Yeah, I just don't feel nothing. So y'all ready to talk about this lawsuit?
Oh yes.
Of course.
I'll let y'all
Came in like Kakashi.
I think it's funny. Look, I think it's funny because everybody saw this coming. Stevie Wonder saw this coming. Stevie Wonder saw this coming, and the people that's complaining about it, every person that I see complaining about it does not own anything. Because the second somebody owns something, I promise you, y'all will be clamping down on anybody that takes anything.
You don't buy no games.
Yeah, like if you are a fan, does not give you the right to take somebody's IP and do what you want with it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You being a fan does not get to. You don't get to do that. All right. So, and if you think Nintendo's the only person to do that, I dare you to take anything from Sony Music. I dare you.
I double dare you.
You ain't gonna get. You ain't gonna make it past 2 minutes.
Sony Music or Sony Pictures. Take something from either one of them.
Yeah. Take something. I dare you. And say you and use the excuse you a fan.
You can be a fan from afar. Just don't touch my stuff.
Right.
So,
but with this one in itself, like, okay, we understand that it's a patent thing, and even though like we definitely see the copyright, it seems like it's more of a patent thing. So, I saw the examples that came up, and maybe one really sticks, and that was the whole Namco one. To where I guess they patent you doing stuff on a load screen as far as mini games or whatever. But as far as like the throwing mechanic, and then even them mentioning the Nemesis thing was a problem too. My thing is this: if I am creative enough to come up with a way to, in this case, catch a monster, then that's my idea. Like that's what I came up with. So why would I let anybody else use it? And even when you talk about Pokemon as a whole, you can like Pokemon, you can love it, you can feel like the games or whatever they are, blah, 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 whatever. Regardless of what Pal World did sales-wise or whatever it did, the games are not the main seller for Pokemon.
Right.
It's not going to make Creature or the Pokemon Company shake or budge because Pal World doesn't have an anime, it doesn't have merch, it doesn't have a card game. It has nothing that can affect Pokemon in the slightest. So even when you talk about, okay, well, Nintendo, which this isn't a Nintendo thing, it's a Pokemon company thing.
Right.
Like the Pokemon company, like they told you in the beginning, we'll investigate. They told you this back in January. So now it's a patent thing. I get some things that are patented are iffy. Not everything is perfect. We look at Big Pharma as one of the major issues with patents. But when it comes down to, well, if I came up with an idea, and let's say, for example, if Jay say, look, I came up with patenting Wingin it. That's something I came up with. I decided I want to patent that. That's what I want to do. Then that's what he wants to do because he came up with that. He was smart enough to put a stamp on it.
Yeah.
But if they said, and like I said, all of this is still speculation because we still haven't heard what in the world they're suing them for. But if it's the throwing mechanic that they did for Arceus, you can come up with different ways, and people have shown examples of monster catching games that have different ways for you to catch monsters.
Hell, Dragon Quest Monster Wrangler does it.
It's very easy to try something different, but even when you take this out of the Pokemon situation, they're not the only company that they copied. Like, nothing creative came from this, and even for the guy that was the main creator for this, as far as design, he said that they went and took his design and copied. His stuff looked totally different from what is now presented to us today. So if he's saying that they decided to go that route to copy, and then now they go on this scummy route of like, we're fighting for all indies.
No, you ain't.
Stop. Like, stop.
Give it to the man.
It makes no sense.
My thing is, Nintendo has promoted other monster catching games.
Yes,
they have gone out their way to do it. They've gone out their way to promote indies. They've gone out their way to be as open to giving people as much brand recognition under them as they can. They've done that, and they've done it consistently since the Wii. They've been doing this. So it's not because they're an indie. It's not because they're an indie and they think they can bully them. It's not because Nintendo is threatened by Pal World. They're definitely not seeing this.
They're definitely not.
Pokemon and Pokemon is a worldwide brand.
Right.
It's not because of Power World having some success. It's because they found something through what they investigated that they felt infringed upon their patents. And people are like, well, the patent didn't go live until the patent was already put in years ago.
It doesn't matter.
Just like law takes a little bit of time to get going, the patent and the trademark and the copyright office all take time to give you what you're looking for, because one, they have to cross-reference what you are trying to patent to make sure someone else hasn't done it, and you don't know how many patents there are.
Boy,
so it takes time
do this. That's why even the Power World guy was like, look, we don't know which one we're talking about. We're gonna have to go look and see, because they don't know either.
They don't know.
No information is out there. And then to the people that say it's morally ethical to pirate from whatever company you dislike, if you're going to say that, never in your life produce something from yourself and put it up on sale, because someone's going to steal it from you. I personally have several times had to go, and I am not that big of a person in an online space. I have several times had to go to different websites to get my stuff taken down from other people.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not big. If you got people stealing from me, what makes you think that somebody stealing isn't going to steal from a big company?
Right.
Like,
they have whole divisions dedicated to this.
Yeah, like little old me got to go hunting down people and try to get my stuff taken off of other platforms. Hell, that's how I even ended up on Daily Motion, because someone was taking my videos and putting them up on Daily Motion as their own. And I found out it was like 3 or 4 people that took my stuff and put it up on Daily Motion. And I got all of them taken down, and I put the exact same videos. Just to be
that's crazy. That's smart, sir. That's smart.
Like, but it's virtue signaling because they're an indie. The Japanese audience has been reaming them for the last several months. People they're staunchly loyal to Nintendo. They're loyal to Nintendo because Nintendo is what they are.
Correct.
They haven't changed what they are.
Right.
Pocket Pair has blatantly stolen from several different companies.
Exactly.
They have incomplete games that have been stolen from several different companies. And y'all mean to tell me y'all want them to be the representation of the indie scene? No. I would never want them to be the reps for indie.
The funny thing about that is they made people pay for Power World, and it ain't even complete.
It's not even complete.
Neither is their other game.
Not even Craftopia. But y'all, that's the here y'all want to. Okay, all right.
But here's the problem with that though, because it's not even so much as they want them to win. They just want Nintendo, Pokemon company to lose something. And I was like, but what does that benefit? Because just because they lose this doesn't mean it's going to improve the quality of the games. It's not how that works.
Right.
Like we're doing this. We're taking the stand because they need to make Pokemon better.
That ain't going to
do. Did you buy it,
bro? Did you buy it? And most of
you. And if you did, you're the problem.
Yeah, you're the problem because you have to speak with your wallet every time. Every time there is a boycott, every time there is a Pokemon boycott, that Pokemon becomes the best seller in the series.
The best selling one.
Explain that to me. But y'all hate it. Not only do you buy both games, you buy both games and you buy both Switch Lights.
That's true.
And the DLC.
And the DLC.
Wow.
And so Nintendo's looking like, well, they said they don't like it. Well, they bought it though. So the numbers
and complain while making content.
Yeah, right. They're complaining, but our numbers are going through the roof. Man, I hate Animal Crossing. We should boycott Animal Crossing. But our sales went through the roof.
Right.
We hit like, hey, how many 30 plus million? Right. Yeah, leave that alone.
Leave it alone.
Something doesn't make sense. It's like, because you sitting there, you're looking like, man, we really messed up. Like, dang, they really hate this. We sold what? So
right.
It's only been a month.
Tell them we're gonna do it again, but follow it with please understand after that.
Yeah, like that's crazy. But yeah, I don't know. Like this whole thing is very stupid. And like I said, on one end, you got those that hate when Nintendo does anything legally, like as if they're not a business. Yeah. And then you have those that do not like the direction that Pokemon is going in. Look, I'm one of them. Like Scarlet and Violet should not have look the way it did. It should not have ran the way it did.
But
especially when you have games like Xenoblade, but it's sold, so you're the problem.
Yeah.
So it's like, but my key thing is this: like, whatever comes of this, Power World was not still popping. It was a flash in the pan. Let's keep it a bug. So, and it's a game that's still not complete, still not finished. You already paid for it. So at the end of the day, I don't know what this does for them. Like, let's say, for example, this patent is something so crazy that they either need to change it up or just pull the game altogether. I really don't know, but either way, judging by history, not just me assuming, but judging by history, you wasn't going to get a complete game anyway.
Nope.
Right.
So, that's what it is.
But chances are, if it's literally a patent that has to do with how the monsters are captured, that is a quick animation change.
Yeah,
right.
That's all there is to it. That's a quick animation change.
Get rid of that ball and change animation.
Even if the likenesses were heavy,
you change the animation, maybe change some colors here or there, and you fix the problem, and then the case is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Or you settle out of court and then make the changes. The case is over with, more than likely.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to see these things actually play out because we need court cases like these to happen, but nobody's willing to do it. So if main man from Pocket Pair got the stones to do it. I want to see you go through it.
Yeah. But Nightwolf, on top of that too, I mean, I know people that said the same thing, but this is where you buy out of hatred. Like, there's people that buy games that really think things look interesting. There's those that buy because the hype is there. And then there's those that buy because they hate something else that is compared to it. It was never going to succeed because we all said the same thing when it popped up and was selling good. We saw the game and it was quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden now it's got this hype when it releases. Like, what game has ever done that?
Nothing really.
Like you show a game and then people are like, look like Pokemon with guns, and no one ever talks about it again. And then all of a sudden it gets this explosion when it releases.
Right.
Yeah, that was crazy to me.
Yeah. So to me it's funny because I'm just like, dude, how many times has this happened? Like, they got to protect they're gonna protect themselves. So if you do this, I can't feel sorry for you if Nintendo says, hey, nah, we take y'all to court. Right, I don't feel sorry for you because guess what?
Right.
You knew better. How many years of this has this been going on? The one dude I think that actually got my respect was the guy that did the A2MR. He told people, he straight up told people, hey, stop going at Nintendo. I did this. They told me to stop and I stopped.
There you go.
Yeah. Like, and they literally waited for him to actually release it anyway, because they knew it existed before he put out the final release.
Yeah.
Right.
So he was like, look, man, y'all need to stop going at them because I did this and I did not have permission. It is their IP and they have every right to do this. It's theirs. But you got people they just know. They just evil. I'm like, dude, they protected their interests. If you had something, if you created something and you start taking money out of your pocket, what you doing? You gonna lawyer up.
Yep.
Right. That part.
I know for a fact if it's anything that I had that somebody's ripping, I'm going for it. It's just a potential chance that something that I made will make someone else money when it should be making me money.
Yeah.
I was like, that can feed my family. Why am I letting it feed yours?
But you a fan, so you're supposed to be able to do whatever you want. That doesn't even make sense.
Right.
It doesn't even make sense. I'm a fan though. So,
okay.
And
congratulations.
Listen, even though I think that fan games and stuff like that, fan content should exist.
Yeah.
If the company that owns it or the people that own the thing say, hey, look, could you not do this with it? Just respect what they said.
Yeah.
If you are really truly a fan of it
if
you are a fan of it in that way, then you should be able to respect the decisions of the people who own it.
And then also too, just because it's happened maybe a handful of times, that does not in turn mean that the company should then give that person a job. That's not how.
Oh man, who did that? I feel like it's only been one time.
Sega.
Yeah.
And guess what they did to Christian Whitehead? Screwed him over. They took his engine, didn't give him royalties, screwed him over, screwed him and his team over. They had to go make another company and start making games.
That's how you make an example of somebody.
Yeah.
So you want to take my stuff? Okay.
Yeah. Congratulations, you're on our team. Yeah, congratulations.
You're on our team for a few games.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna take your engine. And then
did you not read? Did you not read the last page of the contract? What was on the last page? Yeah, that engine, that music, that's all this is. That's
ours. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
You're with us now. You're with us now.
But do I get royalties? Royalties for who? For you?
Right.
Nah, bro. Nah. So you stole from us. So we getting it. This is called payback.
Right. What did he say in Office Space? No, we didn't fire him. We just fixed the problem.
Yeah. So the last thing I want to talk about tonight before we get out of here is the horrible and the horrible leak that came out. That the junk looked fake. It just looks fake. And I understand what people are trying to do with the whole successor thing. They're trying to force their hand. You're not forcing their hand, dude. It's not going to work.
They're trying.
It's not going to work because, one, they got games to get out this year. So, what, Brothership drops in November?
Yeah.
Brothership drops the 1st of November. We'll probably get that first trailer or whatever, probably like 2016.
Right after that.
Yeah, in November. They're not going. I don't see a situation in which it would benefit them to put a trailer out or put a direct out talking about the successor, and you got like games slated to come out.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't see that doesn't make any sense. Your best bet is to do exactly what you did in 2016. Hey, November, we'll drop this 3-minute trailer. The Game Awards will show a game with and tell them that, hey, it'll probably be Metroid because in 2016 it was Breath of the Wild. So it'll probably be Metroid Prime Beyond. Be like, hey, look, this is playing on the successor. January, we get the actual direct that actually has a release date. As soon as we get the release date, we get the daggone pre-order. You can go on the pre-order. It'll probably be in March because there's a lot of stuff that allegedly is supposed to be coming that they can't put the logo on because it'll spoil it. So I'm guessing stuff like Metaphor and stuff like that is probably coming, and that's why they ain't said nothing.
Right.
Because
apparently
the kits have been out for over a year and a half. Apparently. So they've just been beefing up they lineup. So they know to make sure they got games to come with it. So
basically you ain't gonna want for nothing when it releases.
Right. There you go.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking, and I'm just going off of what they did in 2016 because that just makes the most sense. It just makes the most sense.
I would go with one, changing my original date and lock up with Sandstorm in October, because we have Legend of Zelda coming out at the end of this month, and then you also have Tokyo Game Show that's coming up now. Unless this new group and Nintendo says, hey, look, let's show it off at the Tokyo Game Show, that'll be a little different. Because with them having directs, that's more of them controlling it versus giving it to somebody else to show it. You know what I mean? Right. So I would say, trickle into October, because even though we have Brothership coming out, I don't see it being like one of those big ones that, I feel like it will still sell regardless of what you show, especially if we're talking backwards compatibility.
Right.
Like it will still sell because regardless if you keep the same system or you get the newer one, you can still play the game. Right. So I'm still looking at October as into let me show you what it looked like. And then next year will kind of be those tours. Because we were still, because I think Sandstorm, were you one of the ones that got an opportunity to actually go and try the Switch when it?
Yeah, it was wild. So October 20th was when we got the original trailer, The 20th this year is like a Sunday. So I think if it's not going to be like the 18th, it'll probably be the 11th. So like the second week of October or the third week. And then they showed off they had like that big, like, here's how much it costs, blah, 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 blah. That was in January. February is when they did that, the tour around the country, you know, at the major cities. And then March is when they dropped it.
Right. Yeah. And I think that might be similar because, I mean, when we talk about, you know, you don't have to do 2 different commercials this time around. You can say, all right, cool. Here it is. This is what it does. Because it doesn't differ too far from the original, we don't have to show you too much. Like in reality, we just need to show you the differences, but let you know that this is a different system nonetheless. Like this is a 2 or whatever you want to call it.
And these are some new games that are coming with it that ain't been on.
There you go.
I think too. Go ahead.
So I mean, when you look at it too, I mean, yeah. Where you work out, and I think I said this initially when we thought we were going to see it a little bit sooner this year. You have the first half of it. Like, look, these are the old games that are already out, along with the games that are coming out this year that can play on it. This is, you know, I don't think they'll get too deep into like the differences if they even want to. I think they'll save that for a little bit later, but just give you the confirmation. Like, yeah, the games you've already purchased, along with the ones that's coming out later on this year. Here you go. But then also on the back half, this is what you can expect in 2025 whenever we give you the release date. But this is what you can expect in 2025. We have Metroid dropping. We have the new Mario Kart. We got Mario showing up. We got a new Splatoon. You know what I'm saying? Just something in general. And then let's say we give you ARMS 2, please. But you know, all in all, that's just, and I think that's where you kind of work it out because honestly, you give the comfort for those that really they're not ones that upgrade. Like they already struggle as it is to get the current console. They can't afford to jump whenever the ship is ready to set sail. So it's like, hey, look, you're good. Keep your Switch, and then also to go buy that gold Switch Lite that we have coming out with Echoes of Wisdom. So you can do that, but then at the same time too, we do have newer games that will work, but this is just kind of what the differences will be. We'll show you later down the line. And I think that's where we'll get to see it again, where they really start showcasing those differences. Like, yeah, we told you Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom play on both, and they do, but this is Tears of the Kingdom in this area, and then this is Tears of the Kingdom on the 2 in this area. And it's like, so you pick and choose what you want to do.
I think too, to go along with that, with what you were saying with the lineup too, I think at first I was going to be like, oh, they're going to encourage you to bring your own Switch, but actually, I mean, they're Nintendo; they have their own Switches, so they even have their showcases to have an original Switch sitting right next to the newer model. And you can not only see the difference of the size when you go in yourself, you can see the graphical difference. They have TVs sitting right next to each other, so you can see that difference. They don't even have to say anything to you. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to talk about graphics because Nintendo doesn't really do that anyway.
They don't do that.
But they'll leave it up to you to be like, yeah, okay, yeah. Right. Now I see what you're talking about. But I think too, to kind of go up with that lineup and like, It part of me thinks it could be wishful thinking, but I don't really think so because they've been making power moves for 7 years now. But the fact that like we got the Prime 4 trailer now this year, I'm still 100% on Prime dropping the same day as Switch 2 because that is the biggest like visual difference on the system. Like this is, you can see this is different from that. And then to be like, okay, so we gave you the visual difference right here for this drop, and then turn around and give you a second Legends for the holiday title. So like now you got your Pokemon, the one that y'all was saying y'all was liking with the throwing mechanics and all that. Yeah, like we expanded upon that. Now you get that for this. And so I think that's a power move. Is Mario and all the rest of them going to show up in between that time? Maybe they probably will, because I feel like there's got to be something in the summertime too.
There has to be a 3D Mario.
I would say 3D Mario might be
because I think it was it was 4 games actually that came out in 2017, and I didn't think about it. It was Zelda, Splatoon 2, Xenoblade, and Mario.
Yep.
So you can easily shuffle it up. You know, you got Metroid, Pokemon, Mario, and it would be so horrible if it was Mario Kart. But like,
yeah,
you know,
you don't mess up the rest of them like that. Let Mario Kart come out on his own time.
Yeah,
like
let that be by itself.
Because I think, to be honest, I think because don't Monolith got that new one.
Oh yeah, Monolith does have
Monolith working on something new.
I am still of the opinion that this console is going to go back to the dual screen format, and that's when everybody's going to get Xenoblade Chronicles X remastered or remade, and then we'll get Xenoblade Chronicles X2.
That's fine by me. I'm and you already know y'all know how I feel about the whole Xenoblade Chronicles 2 thing, just because of you can't sit here and beg for a game when you said the console sucked.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
True. I think.
So I'm sorry, you begging for a game, and then Monolith told you on 3 separate occasions that we're not doing that because one, it would take too much time.
It would be too much time and too expensive for them to remove.
We'd rather, and they already had the story they wanted to tell, and they was working on that. But y'all need to bring Xenoblade Chronicles X to the Switch so more people can play it. You wouldn't even like it if it was on the Switch.
No, you wouldn't.
I think as well. I mean, even though my brothers here are all saying the dual screen move, I'm okay. I'm gonna put it to you this way because I'm not solely on the fact that it's not. I don't think it's going to be the way that we think it is, and I think we kind of talked about this before. I think the new Switch, the Switch 2, is going to be a standalone one screen. Mm-hmm. However, I still think they are going to cherry pick the heck out of the original Switch and be like, "This is your dual screen right here. You can put this right next, and these two systems talk to each other. So you want to do maps? You want to do all that? You want to move all that? It's right here." Right here.
We've been saying that, but that's a way to keep the numbers going up. Because it's one thing to say, okay, I just want to switch. It's one thing to say I just want to switch too, but it's another thing to say, hey, I can actually do this in like a dual screen situation. Let me go get a Switch Lite. Because if you don't already have a Switch Lite, let me go get a Switch Lite because I'm pretty sure they're gonna drop the price on it. Yeah. And then bam, there we go.
I mean, there's multiple ways they could do it. There's so many ways they could do it.
I personally just want the Miiverse back.
I would really love
I'm
that.
so tired of Twitter.
Mm-hmm. They're going to have to call it something else, but they can bring it back.
Right.
I want the Miiverse back.
Right.
Because it wasn't nothing like it.
So question, with now we already know Nintendo always represents for their console. Even if it's sinking, they're going to represent for their console.
Mm-hmm.
How much support do we think we're going to get out the gate? Now that, let's say, hypothetically, the specs that we've seen that are close to PS4 Pro, blah blah blah.
Everybody's saying.
Like when we talk about everybody are we talking to everybody, or we still got some?
We got the stragglers, of course.
I think it's going to be the main people is going to probably be out of third parties. Probably going to be Ubi's going to be there.
Yeah,
of course they need to.
Capcom
definitely going to be
there. Capcom's the one I'm worried about. Bandai Namco is just because they done lost so much money on these. They
like hand and foot with Nintendo at this point, doing the Smash and all that other stuff. So I feel like they will. I only say Capcom because I feel like it's going to be Capcom stuff that we expect Capcom. Yeah. Like not like Capcom, like dang, you bring the Dragon's Dogma? No. Well, the original Dragon's Dogma is on there, but you know what I mean. Like some other titles that
Well, Dark Void, why are you picking out my brain?
The other thing,
I be talking about a daggone Nintendo Music app and bringing back the daggone social media side.
Yeah, but the other thing I think we're gonna probably see is more, and I know people are probably hate me for saying this. We're probably gonna see more Microsoft stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh no, Microsoft and Sony.
I'm not even gonna hold you up. I think you're gonna get that midnight the midnight game or whatever, the stop motion joint.
And I think if they are gonna do like something like a banjo or something, it's gonna be with Nintendo because
that'd be crazy that you hand that to Nintendo.
Well, but the problem is and I hate to be like this, but bro, that fan base don't buy it.
They don't.
So that's
I think Sony's seen that too.
Yeah. So
I think it's smart in itself, even though that whole team is not there anymore. It'd be so smart to be like, yeah, Rare is making this in tandem with Nintendo, just for it to be like, dang, Rare and Nintendo are back. It ain't even the same team, but I still
it's not
think
even the same thing. But that name,
yeah, just the name in itself.
Wouldn't be a shock if Killer Instinct found its way over.
Yeah.
Just glide that right on over.
I'm gonna say this.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna say this too, because you guys like every developer. I think a mass amount of the majority of ones who slept are the ones that are going to be like, we ain't sleeping this time. I feel like
money.
I feel like the ones who are still in their feelings are the ones who are going to still be sluggish. Like Rockstar, I feel like, and EA, definitely EA. But but the thing is, I think between the both of them, EA is going to be the one who jumps on faster.
Yeah, EA because
most of those guys are gone. Most of those guys that did hate like that, they're out of the company.
Because the one thing that I've noticed with EA and Take-Two is that when they do their stuff like the basketball and all that other stuff, we're in the Switch era, but they still give us like the 360 graphics. Like you don't see the pan swishing or anything like that. Pause. You don't see anything like it's like their body is part of their outfits, the background, and all that stuff. But I feel like the one time, because you can't do it with this system now. Like people gonna notice now at this point. You do that and you give them anywhere near the PS4 quality, and people buy that in droves, they're gonna be like, oh, we did like that money though. That did kind of feel good. So I guess we just gonna have to keep doing it from there. And I think that's EA. Like soon as FIFA catches up to everybody else as far as like the quality level, and be like, oh, they did give us a lot of money though. I guess we can't hold on no more. I think Rockstar is the only one because of GTA.
I'm about to say that's the only one that's gonna hold off. I think they'll give remakes and remasters, but
they'll probably do 4.
I mean, look,
4 and 5.
Listen, they can keep GTA off of it for all I care. Just give me Manhunt 1 and 2 and Bully.
I'm cool with that.
Or the Chinatown, or give me Chinatown Wars.
Chinatown Wars.
Or do the complete collection of the old GTA, the top down ones that nobody plays.
Yeah.
Did they do Streets of LA?
No, that was somebody else. True Crime, that was somebody else. That was that was one of the EA. That was one of the EA.
I think that was EA.
Yeah. Okay. That was one of the EA teams. It wasn't Tiburon. Was it the one that did? No, it wasn't I can't remember which one it was, but it wasn't Tiburon. But it was one of the EA teams because they did Streets of LA and Streets of New York, I think.
I don't know any of these developers. Like they must be gone.
Yeah, most of them are gone.
Exact Entertainment and Imagine Engine.
Yeah, they're all gone.
Yeah,
they're all gone. So,
see, Dark Void, you wrong. It should be Red Dead Revolver, then Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, Red Dead Revolver. They need to really bring that back.
They need to go all back, do the whole trilogy on there.
Personally, I wouldn't mind if they did that game. What is it? The Red Steel 2.
I mean, if
you got the controllers for
that, do Red Steel 1 and 2 and give Red Steel 1 the control setup for 2.
So that would be cool, but I would need my remote for that because look, I like the Joy-Cons, but my hands are
the first time you could cock the gun sideways and be like,
super inaccurate. Super inaccurate.
So that's why they don't actually shoot them like this.
All right, peeps, we're gonna call it a night. Thank you everybody in the chat for coming through. We appreciate you. Jack, anything you want to pimp out?
Nothing, man. Just continue to subscribe to everybody. Continue to come through and watch. Continue to support everybody's extra endeavors. So whether it's music, books, whole 9 yards. So yeah, man, I'm just glad to be here and glad you guys showed up and stayed with us tonight. So thank you.
Yeah, Sandstorm.
So yesterday, on the Stormcast, we talked about everything we know about the Switch 2. I'm not going to spoil it for you. Go over there and check it out. Real good conversation. We actually had 3 guests on. Vito wasn't able to make it, so we had Robert and Juice from the Deal podcast, and then as well, Nintendo Cisco came through and chopped it up with us, and we also reminisced. We also reminisced about the Switch's entire 7 years, starting back in 2016, because technically, actually, it's 7 years that we've known about the Switch, and well, they're about to be 8, which is crazy. But even going back, we kind of talked about like just in retrospect, how the Wii U. How we got the Wii U stuff and like how much of those promises actually came through and what we got and what we didn't get, blah, 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 blah. So we talked about that in the Switch and peak moments and throughout its life cycle. So if you want to check that out, it was a great conversation, very fun, entertaining. Some of that stuff is really nostalgic. We got goosebumps over some things. I think Nintendo Cisco even cried maybe over one of the trailers. Again, really? Years later, yeah, epic. So yeah, go ahead and check that out. And then, every Sunday here, well, Stormcast is every Saturday at 7:00, new time, 7:00 instead of 9:00. Here, Wingin' It podcast every Sunday, 7:00 unless it's a holiday. And then we will be over on the Joe podcast, Juice's Loose podcast at 7:00 as well on Monday. So make sure you come through. Make sure you subscribe to everybody, all friends, brothers around here, and all the affiliate channels too.
Mm-hmm. All right, Andre.
I mean, I don't have anything specific because I've been recording a bunch of stuff, and like I said the last time, I recorded stuff and I don't like it, then I re-record it, and I'm starting to fall into a Shadow Fox pattern. So I'm trying not to. But I promise this week y'all will get at least 3 videos from me. I just don't have anything right now. But I got it coming.
All right. Well, if y'all been noticing, I have been putting up some more press start videos. I got a couple coming this week. So check those out. Other than that, we didn't have a fresh take today because Vicky is out in Cali for TwitchCon, which she did not tell me till today.
She leaving us all behind, man.
Yeah, she is. So we should see her next week. So we should have a fresh take next week. So be on the lookout for that. Also, I went to see Transformers 1. It's actually not bad. That movie's actually pretty good.
Why they rated so poorly then?
I don't know. I don't know what people
probably is.
People expect more than what they.
One question: is it more in line with the old school cartoon?
It's a mix. They took a mix of stuff. Like
then that's probably why, because there's people who are more recent to it.
Yeah,
that aren't used to old school stuff.
The explosion.
And they took some stuff from the comic, from the IDW comic, and they took some stuff. So it's not.
That's why.
There's so many different origins for Megatron and Optimus to the point where I'm like, it just depends on what you rated growing up.
I just see them as all different Optimuses and all.
It's a very deep cut to know who Orion Pax is.
Yeah, because it's and it's just too many different stories from too many different people, and everybody says all of it's canon, and it's not.
No, it ain't. They're different. They're different universes.
Yeah,
I would really love for them to just do Transformers universe.
They're not gonna do that. But the movie was actually not bad. Actually, there is no Peter Cullen in it. I wish there was. But I understand why he's not in this. But that's just me. But it does change on a dime, and once that change happens, it gets serious. But I thought they did a good job with it. So if you have a chance, check it out. If you have a D-Box theater, the D-Box was actually pretty good in my theater. So I made that a D-Box viewing, just like Deadpool and Wolverine. So I enjoyed it because when it kicks up, when the action kicks up, they do a good job with it. So, but other than that, guys, thank you all. We will see you guys next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So y'all have a good one. Peace out, people.
Peace.
Peace.